Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Rainer and this is my channel, Rainier Books. Welcome to another edition in my segment, New Books in November. Let's get started. I have 6 books for you, 6 books for November, and only one of them is a work of fiction, which is, I think, the first time that fiction is in a minority in this selection. The first book is coming out on November 17, and it's already now a top bestseller in many countries. It is being translated into German, into Swedish, into many other languages, and will be published on exactly the same date, which is November 17. And this is a memoir. This is a book called A Promised Land. And of course, the author is former President of the United States, Barack Obama. Well, the dogs on the street howl 'cause they understand if I could reach one moment into my hands. Mister, I ain't a boy, no, I'm a man, and I believe in a promised land. A promised land, this is Bruce Springsteen. Well, I don't know if Barack Obama quotes directly Bruce Springsteen or more the Bible, but A Promised Land is the memoir by Barack Obama coming out on November 17, and this is a book that I hardly recommend, published by Crown. It will jump to the number 1 in many bestsellers. The publishers say it's a riveting, deeply personal account of history in the making, from the president who inspired us to believe in the power of democracy. A Promised Land is extraordinarily intimate and introspective, the story of one man's bet with history, the faith of a community organizer tested on the world stage. Obama is candid about the balancing act of running for office as a Black American, bearing the expectations of a generation buoyed by messages of hope and change, and meeting the moral challenges of high-stakes decision-making. He's frank about the forces that opposed him at home and abroad, open about how living in the White House affected his wife and daughters, and unafraid to reveal self-doubt and disappointment. This is published on November 17 by Crown, and I think it's about 450 to 500 pages long. I will surely get a hard copy of this one. The second book, which to me is very interesting, is Even That Nonfiction. I'm talking about, Even That is published on November 17 by Norton. And this one is called The 9 Lives of Pakistan, Dispatches from a Precarious State by Declan Walsh. Declan Walsh is one of the New York Times' most distinguished international correspondents. His electrifying portrait of Pakistan over a tumultuous decade captures the sweep of this strange, wondrous, and benighted country through the dramatic lives of 9 fascinating individuals. On assignment as the country careened between crises, Walsh traveled from the raucous port of Karachi to the salons of Lahore, and from Baluchistan to the mountains of Waziristan. He met a diverse cast of extraordinary Pakistanis, a chieftain readying for war at his desert fort, a retired spy skulking through the borderlands, and a crusading lawyer risking death for her beliefs, among others. Through these 9 lives, he describes a country on the brink, a place of creeping extremism and political chaos, but also personal bravery and dogged idealism that defy easy stereotypes. This sounds so interesting, doesn't it? Declan Walsh was, during the whole time when he was in Pakistan, he was sort of surveilled by a Pakistani intelligence officer, and then he was, because of his work, was too critical in the eyes of the government. He was expelled from the country, had to leave Pakistan, and this is also a part of that book. Number 3 is the only work of fiction that I'm recommending this month, that I found this month. If you have more titles of fiction that you love, please leave a comment down below and recommend these titles to me and to all the others who watch this video. Charles Baxter, The Sun Collective, will be published by Pantheon on November 17. From the National Book Award finalist and one of our most gifted writers, says the Chicago Tribune, a timely and unsettling novel about the people drawn to and unmoored by a local activist group more dangerous than it appears. Once a promising actor, Tim Brettigan has gone missing. His father thinks he may have seen him among some homeless people, and though she knows he left on purpose, his mother has been searching for him all over the city. She checks the usual places, churches, storefronts, benches, and stumbles upon a local community group with lofty goals and an enigmatic leader who will, after all their lives, who will alter all of their lives. Christina, a young woman rapidly becoming addicted to a boutique drug that gives her a feeling of blessedness, is inexplicably drawn to the same collective by a man who's convinced he may start a revolution. As the lives of these four characters intertwine, a story of guilt, anxiety, and feverish hope unfolds in the city of Minneapolis. A vision of modern American society and the specters of the consumerism, fanaticism, and fear that haunted the Sun Collective captures both the mystery and the violence that punctuate our daily lives. The next book is a book for all the real crime lovers among us. This is by Becky Cooper. We Keep the Dead Close. A Murder at Harvard and a Half Century of Silence will be published by Grand Central on November 10, which is tomorrow. For readers gripped by In Cold Blood and I'll Be Gone in the Dark, We Keep the Dead Close is both a haunting true crime narrative of an unsolved 1969 murder at a prestigious institution and a lyrical memoir of obsession and love for a girl who dreamt of rising among men. You have to remember, he reminded me that Harvard is older than the US government. You have to remember because Harvard doesn't let you forget. 1969, the height of counterculture and the year universities would seek to curb the unruly spectacle of student protest. The winter that Harvard University would begin the tumultuous process of merging with Radcliffe, its all-female sister school, and the year that Jane Britton, an ambitious 23-year-old graduate student in Harvard's anthropology department and daughter of Radcliffe Vice President J. Boyd Britton, would be found bludgeoned to death in her Cambridge, Massachusetts apartment. 40 years later, Becky Cooper, a curious undergrad, will hear the first whispers of the story. In the first telling, the body was nameless. The story was this: a Harvard student had had an affair with her professor, and the professor had murdered her in the Peabody Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology because she threatened to talk about the affair. Though the rumor proves false, the story that unfolds, one that Cooper will follow for 10 years, is even more complex. A tale of gender inequality in academia, a cowboy culture among empowered male elites, the silencing effect of institutions, and our compulsion to rewrite the stories of female victims. We Keep the Dead Close is a memoir of mirrors, misogyny, and murder. It's at once a rumination on the violence and oppression that rules our revered institutions. A ghost story, reflecting one young woman's past onto another's present, and a love story for a girl who was lost to history. That is Becky Cooper's book, We Keep the Dead Close. Let's go to Canada. Let's move over the border. Let's go north. The first one is not a graphic novel, but a comic book. But it's very interesting, and I think we should include more comic and graphic novels into our reading. So this is from Canada. This is by Dakota McFadzean. I hope I pronounce his name right. To Know You're Alive will be published by Conundrum Press on November 1 in Canada, which was last week, and it will be Sunday actually, and it will be published in the United States on December 1 by the same publisher. Award-winning Canadian cartoonist Dakota McFadzean returns with a brilliantly dark collection that offers a glimpse into the cracks between childhood imagination and the disappointment harshness of adulthood. Populated by cruel bullies, exhausted parents, and relentless cartoon mascots, the world of To Know You're Alive renders the familiar into something that is alien and absurd. The characters in these stories long to uncover something uncanny in shadow attics and beneath masks, only to discover that sometimes it's worse to find nothing at all. This is by Dakota McFadzean, To Know You're Alive. And the last and final book for November is, for the second time in my channel a translation from the French, from the Canadian French into English. And this is by Josée Boileau. It's also a true crime book, Because They Were Women, translated by Chantal Bilodeau. 14 young university students murdered because they were women are memorialized in this definitive account of a tragic day that forced a reckoning with violence against women in our culture. Each of the victims of what became known as the Montreal Massacre are remembered, their lives cut short, on December 6, 1989, when a man entered their school and systematically shot every young woman he encountered, motivated by a misogyny whose roots go far beyond one man and one day. This is the final of my 6 books for November. Pretty tough read, I guess, but it seems to be a very important book to me. And these were my 6 books for November. You have more, please advise me, advise us all what we should read in the month of November. I thank you very much for watching this video. As always, if you are a returning subscriber, if you are here for the first time and you think, okay, I would like to see another video of this guy, then please subscribe to my channel, because then you get notified and help my channel grow. Growing channels are always able to deliver more and better content to all the subscribers out there on YouTube. And I want to interact with you, and this is really great fun to me. I return probably already on Tuesday with another video, because I have to make an update about all the books that I have bought electronically. And there are 5 or 6 new titles that I want to introduce to you. So stay tuned to this channel. Thank you very much for watching. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and see you soon. Bye-bye.